So I just finished coming out of the cinema and saw Gladiator 2. Now, it's so difficult to do a review on a movie this big. Like, I know that sounds weird, but it is. Like, it actually is. Because there's so much to unpack. Like, there's so much to unpack. There's so much to talk about. There's so much... The character building, the set design, the scenes that they took from that movie and they put in that movie, and the people that they changed from that movie to this movie, the characters in the original movie that they brought into this movie that are the same. Guys, it really, 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 really is just a testament of how epically massive this movie is. Like, ginormous juggernaut of a movie. Now, one thing I need to say that I was a little tiny bit disappointed with, technically two things, but one major thing that I was really, really, really disappointed with. So if you've seen the trailer, you know this already. You know this already if you've seen the trailer. In the trailer, they make it out like that water scene is actually really, really, really big and like long and like drawn out. That water scene goes for, and I genuinely mean this, maybe 5 minutes. Like, I'm not kidding you. It is the smallest sequence in the whole film. Yet they make it look like one of the, like it's like the dominant feature in the trailer. It doesn't last long at all. In fact, once that scene finished, I literally remember thinking to myself in the cinema, because I just watched it, I literally thought to myself, please don't tell me that's it. There's got to be more to it than that. But there's not, and that is it. Seriously. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but it is what it is. It's a very, 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 very small sequence out the whole film. How they did it was amazing. Technically, why it ended makes sense. Like, it really does. Because of what a character tries to do. And it's really, really, really well executed. Now, in line with that sequence, this is a good segue to another part of the movie that I just thought was so good. Now, the main character is training for something. Okay, he's training for something. And what he's training for is an extension of his fitness. Okay? And so he's training with another group of gladiators. Okay? And I think they go to have a drink. Or they go to rest. I think it's a drink. They go to have a rest. And I think he says something like a smart remark. And due to this quote-unquote smart remark, they all go, yeah, nah, you can go and do your own thing, and do what you need to do. The sequence that follows that what he does training in the rowing sequence blew my mind. Whether it was fake or whether it was real, regardless of that, whether, that was a prop that he was using, regardless, was so good. It made me literally verbally out loud be like, whoa, wow. Now, I want to talk about something very, very odd and very, very bizarre. There's two characters in this film that are brothers, and they're, according to the movie, they're twin brothers. And when these two characters, I'll just pop them up on screen right now, these guys here that I'm talking about, when their tension of their characters rise in this movie, right? Their tension rises in this movie in their characters. When the tension rises in the movie of the characters, what unfolds to like probably the last half of the movie in their characters, and how their tension between them, gathers and what happens between them and all that sort of stuff. The thing that I loved more than anything about this movie is what happens to one of their characters at the end. How the situation unfolds for him was so visually, graphically pleasing for me as the audience, because he was such a bad person. And it was like, oh, I'm so glad that happened. And when you see it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And those of you who have seen it already, right? Seriously, what he does when he comes up behind him, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it is so sickening. It's gross, but it's so awesome in the same frame. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Far out, it is so good. Now, one of the things that I was annoyed about with this, guys, I was really annoyed about it because I thought that they would just use I genuinely, wholeheartedly thought that they would just use the motion capture. Like, I really did. I thought that they were just going to use, face swapping. They used a different kid in this movie to the original film. It's not the same kid. And why do I know that? Because here he is here. This one here is the original kid. And this one here is the kid that they used for this movie. So they're completely different kids. Totally different. And I was a little bit like, in the way they did it, they basically recreated, they technically recreated the original scene. And if you've seen the original movie, which I have literally prior to watching this movie, if you've seen Gladator 2, they actually changed the walkout sequence when they carry Maximus out. Like, the little kid is the last one to leave, and the camera just sits on that shot for ages, and you see the little kid like walk out with the rest of them. However, in Gladiator 2, they don't do that. They don't do that. The mother says, hey! And then he gets distracted by the mum and he walks out with the mum. That's not a spoiler. You'll just see it. So it's different. And when the kid comes to the mum, it's a totally different kid. Completely different kid. It's a totally different kid in this entire movie to the first one. Other than that, guys, this movie is a juggernaut film of epic proportion in cinema. A absolutely mammoth undertaking. I mean, a mammoth undertaking in cinema. I kid you not, in any way, shape, or form, guys. If you liked Gladiator to any degree, the score, the props, the sound effects, the characterization, the character chemistry, the dialogue, everything about this movie, if you love Gladiator, then you are going to love this movie in the same breath, in the same motion. It is juggernaut, it is massive, it is directed by Ridley Scott. It is huge. It is absolutely massive. I wholeheartedly, 100% tell you right now, you're gonna love this film. If you love the first one, which 90% of people do. They smashed this film out of the park, guys. You're gonna love it. You're gonna be fully entertained. Are you not entertained? Yeah. Yeah. Your line from the original movie. It's amazing. You're gonna love it. And I promise you, wholeheartedly, this is going to be your cup of tea. And if it's not, then buy Dilmah. I don't like Dilmah, but, I like the English breakfast, the red one, the red label of English breakfast. In fact, after I finish this review, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea for English breakfast, white with 2 and a little bit of sugar. White with 2 and a little bit of milk, I meant to say the right thing. You guys have been awesome. I hope you entertained. I hope this entertained you. See ya. Bye.